Hey, everybody, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and the lovely Firecracker is not going to join us tonight. She's where she belongs, in the kitchen making cookies. I'm just kidding. She can do whatever she wants, honey. She just chose to do cookies tonight. So she said she'd set this one out, and it's just going to be me and my buddy Steve here, and we're just going to have a drink, talk some shit, talk about 2023, talk about what we got going on, plans we've already made for 2024, and all things motorcycle. So, Steve, how you doing tonight, brother?
Not doing too bad. It's cold as hell. We got our first snow of the year. So
you got snow? Keep that shit up there.
Yeah, it's been raining, thank God, because the weather's been a little too warm. But today it got cold. And
looky here, everybody's popping in. There's Christian. Good evening and Merry Christmas, brother. Sparky says Merry Christmas, boys. Jonesy's ride wants to know what's up. Well, hang on here a second, Jonesy. We'll show you what's up.
Yeah.
Am I a little out of focus there? I think she's getting better. Sometimes I gotta use my fingers to fuzz it around and get it to refocus.
I'd prefer to be fuzzy. That way I don't look so fat.
Hey. Trying to get to focus on me and not the background. Although everybody else would probably rather it had me out of focus. It might be easier to watch. XAN said, you had me at cookies. Boys, I'm going to tell you what. She made a homemade oatmeal cream or homemade oatmeal cookies. And yeah, it's like everybody's trying to steal them. Everywhere she goes, like, can you just leave those here? So she doesn't traditionally make chocolate chip for Christmas, but my daughter wants some chocolate chip cookies and she had to work tonight. So she's upstairs making chocolate chip cookies.
Oatmeal raisins are my favorite.
She sometimes puts oatmeal and raisins in them. You know, sometimes she just does like a butterscotch thing or something, but these were just plain oatmeal and they're really, really good. Good evening, Nicholas. And oh man, look at this guy here. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. You know, this guy's happy. If you haven't been watching his videos, he's cutting motorcycles up. Nothing probably makes him smile more. Perfectly good motorcycles, too. The main reason I live in South Florida is the free snow removal. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, there's our friends, the Wagonators. They got to come up and hang out with us here a couple of weeks ago. We had a Christmas party, and they crashed it and had a good time. So, Jonesy said, hope you all had a Merry Christmas. I did. It was a good time. Got to see my grandkid and my daughters, and we had a good weekend. How was yours, Steve?
You know, I don't have a whole lot of family left, and I have two sisters. They live out on the East Coast, and I'm here in the Midwest. So Christmases are a little bah humbug here at the Bates residence, but I still had a great time. I go to a biker bar every year for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so that's always a lot of fun.
Well, you know, I got a couple of friends up there in Kansas City. I'm sure would be happy to go hang out with you on Christmas, especially if you want to be designated driver.
Yeah.
You can always find friends at the bar when you're designated driver.
I'm going to have to buy a bus.
You have to buy a bus. Everybody wants to go hang out with Steve.
Hell yeah.
He's everybody's best friend.
Call that guy. He doesn't drink anymore.
All right. Jonesy says chocolate chip with pecans in them. Mr. Mike Bodine's in the house tonight. Hello, Mike. Hope you had a great Christmas. We did, Mike, and I hope you did too as well. All right. We've been doing this Christmas thing and stuff. Tonight, we're just going to kind of talk about maybe the events we've done the last year, the events we're going to do next year, what we're adding to the schedule, what we're taking off. I know, Steve, before we get into that, you want to tell everybody what's going on? You just told me what was going on with your Road Glide. You want to share it with the rest of the world?
Yeah, sure. I've got a 17 Road Glide. It was getting nicks and dings and stuff, and it was just due. So I took it to the old beauty shop last week and going to get a custom paint job on it. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be kind of a racy look to it, and so I'm anxious to see how it goes. I might do a couple videos on it on my YouTube channel, Bagger Baiter. So if anybody wants to catch that while I'm getting it painted, check it out there.
You got a link to throw out there in the chat for everybody so they know where to find you. Hey, Bry's in the house tonight. Hey, Bri, how are you doing, buddy? You need to get a link prepared, man, so you can pump that channel. You got to learn to pimp your shit better.
I know. Well, I'm just not a pro like you.
You got to learn how to lay it down and drag everybody over to that channel and check out what you do. And even if they're just quick, short videos,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
Crazy Dave's trailer, he does short, quick videos, and he's having a blast doing them and stuff. He's a cool guy. We got to meet him at Adam Sandoval's. You remember that? The homemade trailer guy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Sparky, it's going to be. I have my bike is the stock color is going to remain the same. It's blue and superior blue, and then I'm going to add some. I think some white, bluish tint pearl, maybe some silver pinstriping to it, and it's going to have a kind of a racy look to it.
Now he says he's one of your 13 followers on YouTube. Are you up to 13 followers?
I actually got 22 followers, and my last video just hit 200 views. So that's a world record on my channel. I'm pretty excited.
Right on. Well, maybe we can send a few people your way tonight. We'll get a link for over there. My buddy Scott's in there. Says happy holidays. Yep, Bagger Baiter. Not masturbator.
No, that's back when I was younger. Now it's Bagger Baiter.
Back when he had more energy. 22 subscribers.
God damn, 22.
Man.
I'm almost to one of those silver plaques they give out.
I've got to get to work on the Dyna. It's up on the lift. It's getting new tires and new brakes. And I got some takeoff shocks I'm going to throw on there. And then got a new seat coming for it. Or actually, it's in. I haven't even opened it up out of the box. I should open it up and make sure it looks like it's supposed to. I mean, Saddleman probably doesn't want me to complain about it, 9 months after I ordered it. But so yeah, we got 30 people in the chat here. So, Brian mentioned something about he's excited to see what the 2024 touring bikes are like, and I just did a video on that. Maybe we'll touch on that real quick for people that are interested or came here to see if we were going to talk about it. I don't know anything for sure. Okay, I have heard from people in the comments some things that match someone who has a good reputation for leaks. A comment they made, and they said that they were going to get styling updates. They were going to get the new dashboard, but they were not going to get the inverted front forks and the Brembo brakes. Now, somebody else just brought up a valid point on that video, and they're right, because I've seen them. The new Road Glide 3s for the trikes are out, and they're the traditional fairing still, and the traditional gauge setup. So they said, is it, kind of, does it make sense for them to put that fairing on the trikes and not on the new bikes, and have them be different when they're a Road Glide, but have a different fairing? And I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting kind of thing to think about. Is why would they use the old Batwing on the Tri-Glide and the old Road Glide fairing on those if the other touring models are going to get an update? But trikes are kind of a thing all of their own. I know some of them have special like triple trees and things like that and different rake. So maybe they got to work out a few things to fit a fairing on those as far as mounting them and stuff. And they're just not going there yet. I don't know. So it's hard to say, but it is an interesting thing to think about.
I think they're going to go to the new styles because being in sales, I would be trying to pitch why the new fairings are superior to the old fairings. So I wouldn't want to have to compete against the new one against the old one for that simple fact. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I like the new fairings.
So looky here, we got an invite from Nicholas Evans to stop by his work at High Country Harley Davidson. He'd love to meet us.
Yeah.
So that'd be
I was
awesome.
just in Colorado last year.
I have not got a plan to go out there right now, but that doesn't mean that can't change. I'm going somewhere in 31 days or 32 days that I had no plan of doing 2 weeks ago. So things pop up on the radar all the time, and sometimes you just can't say no to them.
That's because you're a rock star.
Yeah. I'm a rock. piece of granite, way as much as a piece of granite. Sinister Clutch is in the house. Hey, folks, man, good to see you, Randy. So that new dash, I believe he's saying is sexy, but not enough to make me want to sell mine. Yeah, I think if you're not a horsepower guy, you're not into the performance bagger, you're not looking to, maybe you ride in Kansas where you don't have to worry about turns and stuff like that, then the dash and stuff might be enough where you might not care about the Brembo brakes and the inverted front forks. Now, if you're in Arkansas or North Carolina, West Virginia, somewhere with a lot of mountains and hills, Colorado, you like to ride that kind of twisty road stuff, then maybe you want those performance parts like the brakes and the inverted front forks a little more, and that's going to mean a little more to you. Man, your channel is taking off tonight, Steve. I just see people saying they've subscribed and subscribed and subscribed. Let's refresh this here.
Well, what's cool about
holy smokes, you've grown by 10% since the show started.
Here's the cool thing for you, Mike. So as people watch my channel, they'll realize just how good yours is. So
everybody subscribe.
That'll help you the viewer know how hard this is. I'm just having fun with it. Mike is a professional.
Hey, Busted Knuckles is in the house. What's up, y'all? Where is the lovely firecracker? She's up there in the kitchen, man, cooking cookies for my daughter and for other people. So
she wearing that little outfit you got her, that little French maid outfit deal you got her for Christmas?
I hope she's not wearing anything at all. I get you, Brian. I'm out of a payment. I don't want to do other payment, but I'm going to have a bike sooner or later for touring. I got 70,000 miles on mine. So, I can go another year, maybe 2, but at some point I'm going to want to upgrade, and I want the 121. I want the Brembo, and I want the inverted front forks, and I want it all. So, it's either going to be, wait, or if they don't bring it to everything else, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and sell a kidney and get a CVO. Steve, which kidney was it again you said I could have? You don't drink anymore. You don't need both.
But hey, mine are shot to hell. That's part of why I had to quit.
Oh, any news on thoughts on posting to your other channel? I'm going to try and New Year's resolution, get back to making more consistent content on that other channel. To be honest, the riding in the Ozarks has been pretty busy this last year, not just, making videos, but going places. We've actually, we had a few events that people actually invited us to and wanted us to come to. So, traveling all summer, going to rallies and stuff really, takes a lot out of it, because not maybe everybody realizes, but I've got a full-time job that's been a 50-hour-a-week job since I got the promotion, but it's normally a 40-hour-a-week job. And then I've got another side business where I support some companies, and that's usually 15 or 20 hours a month. And then motorcycling and making content, and it's just been all I could do to keep up with it last year. And we were just having a lot of fun with riding in the Ozarks and had a lot of opportunities I couldn't pass up. So, I just focused more on that channel last year, but I do want to I enjoyed the other channel, and it's a little different it's motorcycle content, but it's a little different format, and it's usually not Harley related. So it kind of gives me a more rounded perspective on other brands and what they have and what their prices are. You see a lot of comments that are really not based in facts. They're based in emotions, where people don't take the time to really, talk about the pricing. You can talk about how much, a gold wing costs and how it's cheaper than a Harley Davidson and stuff. It really depends on what model you're comparing it to. For some people, they're going to see more value in a gold wing, but for some people, it doesn't matter what the horsepower is or anything else. It's got to do with the look and the emotion, and how beautiful the bike is. And if you dig a gold wing and that thing, you find it sexy, then cool. It's just not for me. And it's not, there are things that are, as much as it may sound superficial, there's things that matter more than just, reliability. Not that, Harleys aren't reliable. I hear that crap all the time, and I got 70,000 miles on mine. But, you can tell me how smooth it is and everything else and whatever, but I'm still going to look at it and go, yeah, no. And I'm going to, I'm going to buy the Harley. It's just what, it's what inspires me to get out and ride, what motivates my soul. 50 hours a week. Um, 50 hours a week at my normal job. That doesn't mean that between YouTube and everything else, I probably average 80-hour weeks most weeks between YouTube and my side job and my regular job. But that's okay. We're having fun doing it. So Mike Bodine's got PMS, parked motorcycle syndrome.
Yep.
Schmidt Law setting you up for, well, when you say setting you up, the only thing Schmidt Law did was put my name on a list so I could get in the door and save $10. They didn't, pay for my gas. They didn't, put me up in a motel or anything else. I don't want people getting the wrong idea. Schmidt Law does help me get to some events, and they help support the channel for some things, but it's not like I just get a free ride everywhere. I just booked Cycle Showcase tonight, and 2 nights at the hotel, paying the same rate as everybody else, and that's okay. I want to support the event. I want to support the business here in Missouri. So going to that show supports, businesses in St. Louis. It supports Randall, supports all the builders that come to it and stuff. And so that's kind of one of the things I've been thinking about is, maybe the channel is big enough that I really need to have like kind of a mission statement and a focus on, where it needs to go or what I want to do with it, besides just make videos about whatever I feel like making videos about. So, and part of that is the intent was to promote riding here in the Ozarks and, companies here in the Ozarks that do motorcycle events here in the, this part of the world, and motorcycle parts manufacturers, which, I think we got one of those that's going to be on the show here in the near future. I don't want to make any promises till he's booked. I think we're going to get Randall on the show in January to talk about Cycle Showcase. So I'm working on getting some guests on here so you can hear somebody else talk besides just me.
Yeah, you mentioned that you booked your hotels for Cycle Showcase, and I've been looking into it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick the same hotel as you did. It's really close to the event, so that'll make it convenient. But for those that have not been to Cycle Showcase, go talk to your riding buddies. Come to this event, and if you don't walk out of there surprisingly happy or glad that you went, I'd be surprised. I had a blast last year, and I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, Scott said for me to put a 131 in it. They technically, I'm sure it could be made to fit, but S&S makes all kinds of kits for them and other, merch, and there's all kinds of options there for a motor if I decide I want to just stay with that bike. But, I think other people are more emotionally attached to that bike than I am. I talked about selling it, and I thought my daughter was going to cry. She's like, but Dad, you've had that bike since before I became a teenager. I'm like, well, it's only been 8 years and you're only 19. So, but yeah, I bought it to ride, and that's what I've done. And I'm happy with it and everything else. And I put stuff into it, but we all do that. And a new ride would also mean a new, fresh canvas to, customize and tinker. And I enjoy doing all those things. And I know you don't get all your money back for every little upgrade you do and stuff, but for me, that's part of why I wanted a Harley. It's the aftermarket accessories and the, dressing it up and making it your own. And that's something that's easier to do with Harley Davidsons than other brands, in my opinion.
Well, the reason I'm painting my bike is because I have it paid for. I wouldn't be able to do a paint job like I plan to do if I still had payments. So that's another nice way of looking at it. If you keep your bike, get it paid for, and you still want to tinker with that bike, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. But I got to admit, the inverted forks and the new fairing and some of the Brembo brakes and some of the, variable valve timing is attractive on the new bikes. No doubt.
Witchcraft Cycle Work says, I work so I can afford motorcycles.
Right.
He's got a challenge. His wife has more than he does. So I mean, he's got like every night when he goes home, I wonder how it feels to go into the garage and look around and see she has more motorcycles than he does.
That's gonna be tough.
I know. Besides, I like giving him shit, so I'm rubbing that in. I know she's sitting right there beside him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Busted Knuckles said still need to talk the wife into making a weekend out of it. We're coming up on Friday after work and stay until Sunday morning. Usually I take her out to some kind of good Italian joint on the hill before we leave on Sunday. I'm not worried about getting home for the Super Bowl, so that's kind of our plan. Same here. I enjoyed last year. I'm really looking forward to a bigger venue. Will said for me to get a road glide. Bryce said making it your own is so much fun. Absolutely. I congratulate you on your accomplishments this year. Hope your channel keeps growing in 2024. Steve, looking forward to the new paint. Well,
me too.
Oh, Steve's Bill, I forgot you bought that other one. So we each have 5 now. You're finally caught up with her till she goes out and buys another one. Challenge laid. Go Ray. Start shopping.
Yeah.
And she just shot it down. She has a hair appointment. Sounds like a perfect reason for you to go by yourself. So for anybody that's interested, we are staying at the official hotel. That's the Angad. Angad. Something like that. ANGAD. Cycle Showcase has a post on Instagram with a link for special rates. So we've got her booked, and we're going to do that again this year. That was the first event we did last year. We're good. We got a little trip planned in January, but I can't say too much about that. I don't know with and in. I'll show any of that on the channel. I'm sure at some point I will, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet because I don't have all the details and stuff. But we've got Cycle Showcase in February already, and then March Daytona, baby. I've been watching the flights on that. They're starting to come down. Everybody said wait till after Christmas flights will come down, and they have. So I'm getting ready to slap them on my credit card too. So I told you everybody for Christmas, that's what we wanted was money for Daytona. So that's what we got was money to, spend and help pay for the trip to Daytona. I'm just a regular guy like everybody else. Just because I got, a YouTube channel doesn't mean that I'm getting a free ride or a free trip anywhere, to go to these events. I don't have, Schmidt Law Firm does help me out, but it's not like I got some, great big sponsor that's paying the bills for everything. That's way too close. We don't want to do that. We got to change that. Get back out here where we were. Salty says, I made my reservations last week for Cycle Showcase. Think I made the lady uncomfortable when she asked my mood for the room. Yeah, we went with red because if I have to kill anybody and chop their body up in the room, it'll be harder to spot the stains. So that was my reasoning for going with red.
Yeah, this hotel's a little different. They have color themes. So there's red, green, blue.
No, there was no blue rooms left.
Oh, really?
You better hurry. You're going to be stuck with yellow.
I want pink.
Or green. Busted says he'll still be there. He'll just do a turn and burn on Saturday only if the wife's not coming.
And that's what I might do as well. Mike, you were the one that made me think of this. So Friday night was really badass last year. We went to a little bar down off the river. And
the garage.
The garage. They had a band. We got to meet some really cool people. And then, so what I think I'll do is I'm going to stay Friday night, and then Saturday late afternoon, once I'm kind of done with the show, I'll probably head back to Kansas City. It's a 3-hour drive, so it's not a big deal. I think that's going to be my plan.
Yeah, we're going to stay. I don't care about Super Bowl. I got no Super Bowl party plans or anything like that. So she likes to go to Italian food. She's got some Italian relatives and stuff, history, ancestry. So when we get to St. Louis, she likes to go up on the hill and get real Italian food. So, talking about events from last year, we kind of went from, Cycle Showcase was the only thing we did in February. I've already got Daytona booked out in March. And then we jump into, April, and that's when things start to get busier. We got the International Female Ride Day, I think is May 5th. I think in April, we've got Spring Fling. I got a little calendar here on my phone where I've been trying to keep track of all these rallies and events. And I have a website, Riding in the Ozarks, and I updated it last year with a little planner thing on it and a calendar. And I really didn't have time to stay up with it. I got to figure out, the best way to do this without bogging myself down with time. Cause I want to make videos, but I'm trying to share this information. It just gets to be tough. And I don't know what's the best way.
Yeah, I'll be headed to Arizona Bike Week again. I went 2 years ago, took last year off. So that's April 3rd through the 7th. Had a great time 2 years ago. Saw Leonard Skinner. If nobody's ever been out there, it's worth the time. It's worth going out for, especially if you can ride there. Strongly recommend it.
Female ride is going to be a little different this year. Yeah. So I'm just getting the dates here. So we got Cycle Showcase in February, Daytona in March. Then middle of April, we've got Spring Fling in Eureka Springs, and that's going to be a good time. I'll be there for sure. That's a definite do. And then just 2 weeks later, we'll be right back down there for the International Female Ride Day. But I think this year we're going to do a ride all the way from Eureka Springs to the Steel Horse Rally, Fort Smith. So yeah, that'll be kind of cool.
I on our way down to Moyers, Oklahoma to check out Adam Sandoval's campground, we stopped in Fort Smith, and we stayed downtown. And one of my buddies that I was riding with had gone to the Steel Horse Rally, and he said, "Yeah, this is where it all went down." So we were going through all the bars, and I could see where that'd be a lot of fun. I've heard good things about that rally.
Well, we've got, I think, going to be traveling with the Switchback crew, leaving Switchback in Eureka Springs and headed to that rally. It's kind of falls on the same weekend, so I think we're trying to find a way to incorporate both so people don't have to miss out on one to do the other. So that'll be cool. That'll be a lot of fun. And then I get back here, and of course, I've got the Mid-America Freedom Rally at the end of May, Memorial Day weekend at Buckhorn. I'm the chairman for that event, so I will be busy. There's also Ozark Rides Rally we're going to try and make at the beginning part of May. But basically, like from April through June, we have something at least every 2 weeks that's out of town, and that's where it starts getting hard to make content. I don't get to do much of that in the evenings and stuff. So it's usually a Saturday or something. So in the winter, it's a little easier. In the summer, it really gets tough. And, I think we got a 3-week gap right now between Memorial Day weekend and K River. Have you guys? Yeah. Mr. Bodine, Buckhorn. It's one of your favorites. Mr. Bodine came last year, and he was like, I think he had such a good time. He had to get up and go home on Sunday and go to church just so he could come back and not feel too bad. And he's not a drinker. He just, it'll make a man blush if you're not used to that kind of thing. It's an old school rally. Yeah,
Freedom Rally, right?
Freedom Rally, yeah.
Okay, so just to let you know, I've been pimping this to my boys. I'm gonna try to get a crew to come down for this.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll have a good time. Will says I'll be there this year.
You had me sold when you said there was lots of nudity. I'm a big fan.
We're gonna have to, I think, get some sponsors again this year to sponsor the Miss Buckhorn contest. That's skin to win. We get a bigger sponsor, a bigger pod on that. We might be able to attract some professional talent.
$20 is $20.
Well, last year I think we had a $200 prize for first place. I'd like to see that go up.
Yes.
When is the Riding in the Ozarks rally? I'm not going to make stubborn this year. It's at the same time as Hog Rock. Scott Mullins said Buckhorn was a good time. I don't know what I'm going to do about my little camp out. Last year, we did it the same weekend that Adam is now doing K River Stubborn American. So I'm either button up against him and I can't go to his, and I'm making people choose between going from mine to his, and I don't want to do that. And it's no, it's not anything that was done intentional. I'm sure he had no idea I did a camp out that weekend, and you can't plan events around who does what unless you're the biggest guy. I mean, then you don't have to plan around nothing. You just do your event. Everybody else has got to plan around the event that's bigger than them. And I don't want people to choose between my event and his event, and I kind of want to go to his event. So I think we're going to try and do his event this year, and I may move mine back to the fall when it's not quite so hot, because basically, after June we get into July and it is hot here. Hey, Monkey's in the house. Yeah, Scott said Buckhorn was a good time. He came last year. You'll have a good time, Steve. I promise.
Oh, hey, real fast. So the event that I'm involved in is the Big Ass Poker Run. And I just talked to the person that puts that on, officially puts it on. And he's not sure what he's going to do. I think we'll have it. It may not be in Kansas City. It might be back in its roots, which was back in Western Kansas. So I'll keep you posted on what he tells me.
Right on. Scott said he knew the winner of the last year's wet t-shirt contest. Now, just so you know, when it comes to wet t-shirt contest, we do have rules. No skin to win. They have to keep their t-shirt on. If they show skin before the contest is over, they're disqualified. Now, once they're eliminated, they pretty much all show anyway. And then after it's all done, the winner's usually pretty gracious and giving. They're usually very giving kind of people. But yeah, no skin to win in that wet t-shirt contest. You got to keep it on till it's over. We had some really good bands last year at Buckhorn. We had Hell's Bells, who plays at the Bike Fest. They were absolutely great. We had a Guns N' Roses tribute band, Night Train. So we're working on coming up with some top tier, what we can afford entertainment. Hey, Monkey. So what are you guys doing tonight over there in South Florida?
He's probably tearing that big old purple beast down.
Yeah, I saw that bike. He's got it back. Now, we're not planning on doing Sturgis this year. We can't really afford to do 2 or 3 of these 5-day events for vacation time or for money. So we're thinking we're going to do Daytona this year, not do Sturgis this year. Maybe next year we would do Laconia, and then, Arizona Bike Week, and maybe rotate. In a couple more years, I'll get another week of vacation and we can do a little more, but I got about 3 years for that hits. So Monkey say just got home from the mother-in-law's house. I saw his wife dancing on the Cuban Christmas festival there, cutting a rug. So they put up a video on that. I don't remember if it was Instagram or what it was, but it looked like they were having a good time celebrating the holidays. So, Steve, are you thinking you're going to do Sturgis this year?
No. I've been 5 out of the last 7 years, and I think my game plan is going to be every other year. And I kind of hit Monkey up in a chat, and he shot me down real quick about going to, because I said, hey, would you be willing to go to Sturgis every other year and then hit Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest the opposite year? And he said no, of course, which I would have expected. But what I wanted to ask him was, now Bike Fest butts up to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. So that's a 10-day bike. If you combine those two rallies together, that's a 10-day rally.
Night, Mr. Monkey. Gotta take the damn dog out. Yeah. So yeah. If you get back, Monkey, and you want to join us, let me know. Shoot me a message on Instagram. We'll see if we can get you in. But yeah, it's and that's kind of where I was going after Sturgis. Bike Fest and Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue back to back again, like they used to be in the old days, means for some people they can come to the Midwest and do 10 days and 2 big rallies.
Yep, and hit Branson in the middle, for a day or something.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. We would leave the lake on Sunday, spend 2 days in the Hollister, Branson area, ride around Harrisonville and Jasper, Scenic 7, Bull Shoals, Peels Ferry. We'd hit some roads over there, and then we'd roll over to Eureka Springs and party the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And
That
JS
was
has finally showed up late again, he says.
son of a bitch.
Sorry, I'm late. Yeah.
Have to dock that boy a day's pay.
Well, JS, since you just got here, I'm gonna say it again. I booked my rooms for the cycle showcase. I did the Vanguard Arts Hotel that Randall's promoting and has a special deal with. So that's where we're staying Friday and Saturday night. I just booked them tonight.
Yeah, that hotel is spelled Angad.
Yeah,
And
Angad,
Angad
Angog.
Arts Hotel.
Yeah, it's too ritzy for me. I can't even pronounce it.
I've never heard of a hotel. That's a very unique name
So
with unique rooms. Because again, everything in that room is either red, green, yellow, blue,
yeah,
purple. I don't know how many colors.
walls, beds,
Everything.
curtains, probably the carpet. I see Ray's Moto Life joined us here. Hey
Good.
guys. And then we got Mr. Dunn Life stopped in to say hello. So howdy everybody. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting thing. My buddy Bill says, for anyone who hasn't ridden the Ozarks, you can't beat the lake or the lake to BBB. Yeah, it's a good time. You know, all in between. There's all kinds of great riding.
And the thing that most people don't understand yet is that Bike Fest, since the helmet law changed in Missouri a couple years back, has started to explode, and it's turning into a full-fledged rally. It's just going to keep getting better. They built that campground with Great America Campground. That thing's got potential. Everybody down there is supporting it. It's turning into a great time.
Have you been watching Papa Chubby's post on social media?
I haven't.
You need to subscribe. So they're on the west side over there, also where the campground dive bar is. And they had Woody from the Buffalo Chip present last year for a bike show, and I heard it was really good. Right. Yeah, but that's not. I mean, I heard a couple years ago somebody was looking at like building a big campground, Buffalo Chip style, and I don't know if that's what they're going for. But this week they had stuff dug out, and they were getting ready to pour for an infinity pool. He's been clearing land for campers and RVs. I mean, like we're not talking little things like he's dozed off a whole hillside.
Well, keep in mind, too, right off the Grand Glades Bridge, they're putting in a big-ass entertainment area. I think there'll be a small outdoor concert venue. There's a amusement park.
Yeah, it's supposed to maybe like a water park that might even be operational by next summer, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's exploding down there.
Scott said I helped build Pop Chubby's. But Dunn asked earlier, what did everyone get their bikes for Christmas? So the Street Glide didn't get anything. It's been kind of spoiled. It's got a lot of shit over time, and it frequently is the bike that gets the most upgrades. But the Dyna is new to the family, so the only thing I bought for the Dyna, besides the tires and brakes and wheel bearings, which I'd already bought before Christmas, was on Christmas, for Black Friday sale, I bought stainless steel axle sliders adjusters from Bare Knuckle Performance, which is made here in Missouri. So I bought some upgraded axle adjusters for the Dyna, and that is the only bike part I bought all of Christmas. So, Steve, is your paint job what your bike's getting for Christmas?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to cost me probably around $6,000, but it'll be worth it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Desiree stopped in here. I saw her name go by here somewhere. Wind Road, there we are. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Desiree. So let's see. We got gift cards from Alligator or for Alligator Alley, backrest. Somebody's bike got its neck cut off for Christmas. Have you watched his recent videos on that this last week or two, Steve?
I haven't.
You need to get over and watch these videos. I mean, he's got a jig for the frame and everything. Yeah, I mean, he's done this before. I rode with him, and he's got a pretty nice chopper Voodoo, and he's taking this 89 Softail and going to rake it out to 45 degrees.
He's got talent. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, so he's having fun. I mean, you can tell when he puts on a welding, mask and starts at it and then gets the grinder out and starts cutting, and he's playing with the things that he enjoys. So
yeah, takes balls because I don't have the balls to start cutting up a motorcycle, that's for sure.
Well, he's doing a 45 total. I believe he can say in the chat, but I believe he's doing 5 with the trees, and the neck is going to be 40 after the cut and weld. But they've been doing YouTube for less than a year now, and I can definitely tell they're starting to get their groove on editing and things like that, and the comfort with the camera and stuff. And so if you guys aren't watching Witchcraft Cycle Works, they are good friends of mine, just being honest and transparent, but they have good content, and they love to ride in the Ozarks and go to ride all over Northwest Arkansas and Southern Missouri, and they have a lot of fun. And Bill's a very good mechanic, and he works on his own bikes, and he does videos on oil changes and chopping a bike and just the things he's doing, and he shares that with everybody. And he's good at explaining it, so make sure you give him a check if you haven't already. So we got up to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's another event that was on my radar. I didn't make it to last year. It's in late July, and it's 4 or 5 hours, maybe 7 hours from here. I don't know. We might try and do a turn and burn to that. Ride up on a Friday night, catch it on a Saturday, and ride back on a Sunday. It's not that far. In Milwaukee. This year will be the 121st. It's going to be the weekend before Sturgis. But we're not going to have the time, definitely not going to have the vacation time after some of the other things that have popped up on the radar this year to do Sturgis. So maybe we'll try and do a run up and catch the 121st in Milwaukee or something. Have you thought about doing that, Steve?
I haven't, but I drove up there in 2018 for the 115th, and I had a great time. It was just me by myself. Milwaukee's a cool ass city. They got that river that kind of runs through it, and the museum is right off of it. So I would, if you're not going to Sturgis, you're looking for something fun to do, check it out. And two, I can't wait to see what Harley, because we don't know what they're going to do with this thing. It's all brand new, basically, because they're going to start doing it every year, right?
Yeah. So there was something that was kind of being done before then, but they didn't have like a big full blown thing, but like every 5 years. But I think one of the dealerships was having an event, or something and that kind of thing. But like they are devoted to making this a full fledged top tier rally every year. Next year, unfortunately, it's going to be the weekend before Sturgis, not a couple weeks before or whatever, like they had planned.
Right.
Or what their original date is, and that's got to do with scheduling conflicts in the city and everything else. And they're kind of stuck about it, this year. But the things will get back to where it's not back to back with Sturgis in the future.
I know that when I went, House of Harley, which is one of the dealerships there, they're on a pretty busy street, 3 or 4 lanes each way, and they shut that all down. There's probably about a mile stretch where it's closed down. And that's definitely one of the focal points. All kinds of vendors. I mean, big vendors are there. 03D, the S&S, their big boys were there. So that would definitely be on your hit list if you go to that event.
Oh, Jonesy says surgery in the morning. Got to go, everyone. Have a great new year. If you're the praying type, throw out a prayer, good wishes, good vibes, whatever your thing is for Jonesy's. And, we wish you the best, buddy.
You bet.
Let's holler at me when you get out of that or when you're back home or whatever. Let me know how you're doing. Witchcraft said they're thinking about doing Laconia, and we would like to do that, but it's not going to be this year. This year, we're all in on Daytona, so it's going to have to wait.
Now, Daytona, Mike, are you guys going to definitely do King of the Bagger races? Have you looked into that?
I don't have tickets yet, but I was told I could get tickets.
See, son of a bitch, just climbing up that ladder.
Well, I don't know about that, but
it's all right. I'll brag on you.
It was cool to ask and be told, yeah, we can figure that out. So it's I got a couple of sources, a couple of people I've worked with that are got investments there in race teams and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we could probably get you a ticket or get you in for a little while or something. So that's going to be cool. So I don't know where or what or anything else. I'm at the mercy of someone else's, generosity there, but we're looking forward to it. I definitely want to see a King of the Baggers race, and if my tickets fall through, I will just pay to watch them because I want to see it. I mean, the next opportunity for me is probably like Texas or Elkhart or whatever, Wisconsin. So instead of driving 12 hours, we're just going to make it happen while we're there. We're not planning on leaving till Sunday, so we should be able to catch the races there on the Saturday. I think it's the second weekend. They should be racing on Saturday, so that's my plan.
Well, when you get down there, tell the powers that be they need to try to come up with some kind of a race there at that new racetrack down at the Lake of the Ozarks, Osage National or whatever it's called.
I have an inside source on that's rode it, and he says it's not what we need for motorcycles.
I don't think it would be. You couldn't have a. I don't think. Yeah, a good friend of mine races his Corvette up there or down there. I don't think you could have a full-fledged race, but maybe you could do some timing stuff there.
They might do some track days and stuff. He said the problem, and that's the problem, is the corners don't have enough runoff. The guardrails and stuff are too tight on the corners. Bikes will get hurt on if they run off the road there. They need, they need
it's
more,
hilly.
Yeah, and they need more ground between the track and the wall for bikes to slide and shut down in, and things like that. So
what would be cool is if they incorporated some kind of if Harley would Indian would incorporate some kind of where they go out and run some bikes and during Bike Fest.
Well, that'd be cool. Even if it was just a exhibition thing with a couple of guys running the track, and you could go meet Kyle Wyman or something like that. I could,
I would be all over that.
I can, throw a hint out there, see if you're listening. They have been known to tune into a live once in a while.
Yes, they have.
It would be very cool to have something like that happen, even if it was just an exhibition thing and you got to meet Kyle Wyman and watch him run the track a little bit or something. Even if he didn't do it on the King of the Baggers, if he did it on a hooligan bike, maybe get Corey West or somebody from Saddleman to show up. It has to not interfere with their race schedules, though. And a lot of these guys race different classes and different bikes, and they're not.
Hey, it could be an incentive for Harley to come down and pull out the big guns, the big trucks and whatnot, and set up a spot, a corporate spot, to show off all their stuff and give some of their people a chance to see some Midwestern biker hospitality down there at the lake.
Well, we'd love to see that. I know they're really kind of on the big events, that they've only got so much they can do. And now with them doing Milwaukee, but it's the month after Sturgis, maybe one day. Yeah, maybe we can get something going. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be cool. That'd be for sure. I'd drive to the track on the other side of the lake to meet Kyle Wyman and watch him run some laps,
Yep.
get autographs or whatever else.
Yep. Absolutely. Or even if they brought, one of their lower level guys or a guy that's kind of on the fence and they're looking at maybe.
So I don't know if you saw the article, but they just throwed a bunch of money at racing, like $500,000 worth of, incentive for racers, not on the factory team, but like for other teams for placing and finishing and stuff like that. And not just for King of the Baggers, but flat tracking. I think the Hooligan and King of the Baggers. So they've been out of flat track for a few years, as far as I know. And sounds like they're throwing some money at people if they can, land a top spot in flat tracking. So that's cool to see them kind of getting back involved in that. And, Corey West, who rides for Saddleman, I have heard lives, or I don't know where he lives, but he's from Eureka Springs. So I thought that was pretty cool too, from the Ozarks. No wonder he knows how to ride through a curve.
Right on. Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, there's a dirt track on isn't Lake Ozark Speedway over by Eldon, Scott?
I would say it's kind of south of not cool.
There's a dirt circle track. Yeah, well, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it is just east of Eldon on the other side of 54. There's a track there.
Oh, a flat track?
Well, I don't know if it's flat. It's dirt oval.
Oh, okay.
But it may not be flat. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
yep. Scott said, yep, Eldon, Missouri. So Lake Ozark Speedway is just on the east side of 54 right there at the Eldon exit.
Oh, yeah.
I've been by there when they were running.
Right off the highway.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
So, yeah, I mean, you could get a flat track race going there, or dirt drags, or something else during the week. That'd be a cool thing, and it's only right up the road.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome to see other events like that start happening during Bike Week to give people more reason to come on Wednesday and Thursday and stay. And they did last year. They came earlier, so love to see that continue.
Well, I know you know some people down there, so you might need to throw that in their ear and see what they think.
So after Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, I got to figure out if I'm going to do my camp out, Adam's camp out for Stubborn American was right after BBB, first weekend of October kind of thing. So I got to figure out if I'm going to try to do my camp out in there or not. Rat Run takes place October 6th. So that's kind of a booger to go up against here. We get a lot of people to go to that, and it's a lot of fun. So I don't know. I'm just looking at the calendars, but I think BBB ends on the 22nd. So maybe I could do a camp out the 26th, 27th, 28th or something like that in there, 27th, 28th of September. It wouldn't be too hot. Wouldn't be too cold, before we get into October. So.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything planned after Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue this year.
Well, we've got the Rat Run, and we're thinking about the Ride the Ozarks rally in Harrisonville in mid-October. So I don't know. We just have to see. I don't know what kind of vacation schedule I'm going to have after throwing a few extra days on the schedule here now. So we'll have to play it by ear and see where we get when we get closer to August, what I can afford to do or not do.
In the chat, everybody put down the big run they're going to try to do this year. Sturgis, Daytona. What's going to be the big run for you this year? I'd like to see.
Yeah, Wind Road, June 20th through the 23rd. But if you get these government holidays like Juneteenth, you can just take off that day, because I have it on my calendar as being June 19th through the 23rd, because I'm going to be off the 19th anyway. So I might as well just take off and head that way on the 19th, take 2 days and make it a 5-day deal. And that was part of why I decided I was interested in, going back this year, because with the extra couple of days with the holiday, I could go ride Talamina or do something else that I didn't have time to do last time on the way in, maybe. All right. Yes, Stubborn got moved to June, Jay. That's what you get for getting here late. Um, we have dirt track races in DeQuoin, Illinois, hill climbs. Um, Stubborn got moved to June. BBB from XAN, that's his big event that
Yeah.
he's planning on doing. Busted's planning on doing the Baggers and Brews ride in July. Yeah, I think they're going to be a little far for me to get to and not have to take time off. And I don't know that I can take any more days this year.
Hey, Mike, real fast, talking about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. You know, we're not critical of Rogers, Arkansas, because we want it to be awesome. But we kind of probably have come across as being a little bit critical. Have you heard of anything new that they're going to do that's going to be?
Tommy Sizemore did a live just a few days ago. They had a bike they were giving away, and they did the bike giveaway, and I watched that and tuned in. And congratulations to the lady from Minnesota, even though it wasn't me that won. We'll still wish her the best and congratulations. But he did talk about that, like they're still figuring Rogers out. Things were definitely better this last year, and they're going to keep working with Rogers to make it better and better. Unfortunately, the weather last year, if you were there like me, you know it rained several days, rained out a few of the concerts. I don't know what you're going to do about that. That's any rally. We've had it for our rally.
Right.
You know, Sturgis is, I won't say it's impervious to the weather, but people, they spend enough money to go to Sturgis that if it doesn't matter if it rains, they're still going to find a way to go. Like us, you know, you're not getting, you drop $4,000 on a house and you're not getting your money back. You're going to ride, rain, haul, whatever you got to do, you're going to get there.
Yeah, I got lucky. You know, that one night I stayed at that Hotel Sturgis downtown, which was badass. And but what it made nice was, you know, it rained all that day. What was it, Saturday? It rained all day, so we just walked around. You know, but you know, if you're one of these guys that's staying outside of town there a ways, you know, that made it tough. Sturgis was tough this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here what some of these answers are. Busted says he was doing the Bikers and Brews thing. Said, I'm sorry, Scott said, I'm only going to Buckhorn, maybe Little Sturgis, Kentucky, Bike Fest, and Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
Have you ever done Little Sturgis, Mike?
Not yet.
It's supposed to be basically kind of like your Freedom Rally, isn't it?
It's kind of, yeah, but
it goes.
So I want to go to Hog Rock.
Is that in Kentucky?
I think Hog Rock is at Cave In. I think it's Southern Illinois, but I have to look it up here.
Yeah.
Hog Rock is Cave In Rock, Illinois, and it's June 13th through the 16th.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about this place.
Yeah.
And again, kind of that same thing, right? It's kind of a let loose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a, you know, I've not been to Little Sturgis. I've heard mixed things. Some of these rallies you got to watch. Some of them, maybe the locals aren't as excited about you being there as you are about being there. They're not as welcoming in some places. You know, I haven't heard anything about Cave In Rock. I did hear something about Little Sturgis. Maybe the attitudes changed, but there was for a while there, I heard that the locals were not very welcoming to the bikers. That's one thing I really like about Eureka Springs is you don't seem to get that feel and vibe. Everybody seems like they're happy you're there to spend money and support their little town, and they want you to have a good time.
Yeah. I'm looking at their website. It's definitely, it's clearly marked adults only 18 plus to enter, crazy adult only contests all week long. So they're definitely.
Yeah. We're Buckhorns 18 and over to get in. No kids. We had somebody show up with a baby and a stroller and went in. I'm like, you can't bring that kid in here. They're like, well, they won't even know what's going on. I said, you cannot bring a baby into this thing. This is not a bar. This is worse. No babies allowed. Yeah, sorry, but sorry. I'm not
common
sorry.
Common sense, folks.
And it's not, that anybody's going to hurt a baby or anything else. It's just not
No.
appropriate. It's not the place, you know.
You never know. You know, somebody gets on a 4-wheeler or something,
Right.
3 in the morning.
Well, we don't allow 4-wheelers.
Oh, you don't?
We don't allow golf carts. It's a motorcycle rally.
Okay.
It's just
Well,
not a, I mean, it's when we say we're an old school bike rally, we mean we're an old school bike rally. The only people on 4-wheelers or golf carts are maybe like handicap or official staff. I have a golf cart for running around on, but we have rules about all that. No cars in and out, except like if you got to leave early, we have to escort you out. You're escorted by a golf cart to pull your trailer out or whatever. Other than that, the vendors come in and out a little bit with cars for supplies and stuff, but that's it. It's a bike rally. Everybody gets hammered and rides around their bike and falls off that. No golf carts, no 4-wheelers.
What happened to your bike? Oh, I went to a rally last weekend.
Oh, it's happened, and sometimes it happens in the field events, just having fun.
Oh, fuck,
You know,
I bet. Sure.
you know, ride the plank and they go off the side and they give it the goose and they're out in the grass and next thing you know they've spun it out and stuff. But
trying to push the keg and you know it could easily happen.
So here's Bill and Ray Ray's list: Spring Fling, International Female Ride Day, Laconia, Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest, BBB, and currently working out some details for possibly Biketoberfest. That's Daytona, right? Biketoberfest is the fall event at Daytona.
I believe so.
We've got some friends who just sold their house here in the Ozarks that Bill and Ray are close with that are down in that area. So they may be trying to go do a little visit and kill a rally at the same time.
I got an event that I want somebody with more clout, certainly a lot more clout than I have. But I would like to see maybe, I don't know, maybe even every year, all the content creators in our genre pick out a date. Everybody just goes and hits some fun place to go and pimps it all out. And they just kind of make a pop-up rally out of it. I think that'd be fucking cool as shit and a lot of fun.
You know, we've got some people here in the Midwest and it's growing, you know, making content. Witchcraft is growing and JS is growing. And we have my channel and Queen Sid is from St. Louis. I think she's quite a bit bigger than me. You know,
I haven't seen much from her though lately. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not just not on my list of things that YouTube recommends. But as far as I know, she's still making content and doing stuff.
Fuck, I just doubled my subscriber list tonight.
Did you?
I don't know, right?
Practically. Queen Sid is at 62,000. And it says motorcycle and van life. So it looks like a month ago she was doing a van life thing.
Okay,
so maybe that may be why you're not seeing her, because she's doing van life stuff and not motorcycle stuff. I don't know.
She's fun. I mean, I enjoy listening to her for sure. She almost got her ass taken out in Sturgis. I don't know if you saw that video or not.
Yeah, I think that's the one that they did recommend to me. You're at 28, brother. You've grown by 6. You 20% growth every time you get on the screen.
Can you feel the fucking power?
Hold on. No, I can't feel it. All right.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Witchcraft says yes. Biketoberfest is October in Daytona. It depends on if Ray can get the time off work. Yeah. Bill's boss is kind of a dick, so I'm sure he just takes off whenever he wants to. Gets tired of working for the asshole.
That dick.
By the way, he's self-employed.
Oh.
That's why I like to give him shit. So Johnson shut in by Elephant Rocks. That's a nice day ride here. I haven't been out to the Tom Sock Mountain. Have you ever rode to that, Steve? It's the highest point in Missouri.
No,
You
I'm
haven't made
assuming
that
it's
a
down
thing?
south,
Well, it's
west.
little hour or so from here, something like that. I have to go look it up. We did a ride to it, 4 or 5 years ago before I had the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Maybe 5, 6. But we need to go do that again. We need to ride Highway 19 again. I need to put together, like, when I'm not doing a weekend, whatever weekend I'm not traveling doing events, I need to do some local rides and kind of collect some footage and do my top 5 rides in the Ozarks and like ride them all this summer.
Ooh.
You want me to let you
Yeah.
know?
There's some, man, I'll tell you what, the top 5 in Missouri, going to surprise some people.
There's
good
supposedly one up there by your area, but that is on a lot of websites that I don't know. I may have to send you a link, and you may have to go out and tell me if it's how it rates. Because
if it's I have this one I call it's Highway O as in orgasm. It's a good run. It's out by it runs out of Excelsior Springs. It's a good run. It's short though. It's only 20 minutes. But yes, let
yeah,
me know what that is. I would love to go check it out. There's some good riding north of Kansas City, between here and St. Joe. There's some cool runs.
so you know, highway. Let's see if I can find it here.
And while you're looking at that, are they ever going to rebuild that little barbecue place, Devil's Elbow? Are they ever going to rebuild that? Does anybody know?
I don't. I don't
I,
know.
God damn it! I heard
This one
about that
here.
place, and I wanted to check it out. And then that fucking flood took it
There,
out.
there. Yeah. Well, they rebuilt it after the flood, and the people
Oh,
after they rebuilt it, the owners wouldn't give them a lease for another year.
oh shit!
Yeah. It is, and they claim it's going to be reopened and be biker friendly, but that was back before COVID, and it still hasn't appeared. So it's not, there's definitely
Yeah,
not like serious money going into getting it done and getting it open right away
I
for
heard it's cool as
whatever
shit.
reasons.
And
So
one of those little. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to share this little website and see if you know this work road here.
Okay, yeah. I got my Google Earth up. I'm going to see if I can.
So it's number 5, and I knew it was up by Kansas City, Route 86. You'll have to you might have to just go out and ride that and let me know if it's anything. But like, you drive America highways for 9 miles west from Car Lane to Eagle Rock, then Route
Okay.
86. It's a 24-mile route total.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what that route is that's the road that I was talking about, where you go to Excelsior Springs, and there's a Highway O. It does get a little mountainous out there, or hilly, I should say, and we do ride out that way a couple times out of the year. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's not going to be Arkansas or anything,
Okay.
but fun.
Okay. So it's not going to be like this next one here is, Highway 86 down here, Eagle Rock down to 23 into Eureka Springs.
That's good. I take that ride every year to Spring Plains.
How's it going to compare to like
Anytime
Eagle
I go to
Rock and that coming down?
86 is a fucking awesome road. It's bermed. So if the weather's right, you can, and if you got the balls, you can make some time on that road, and it will challenge the best riders, because those berms are banked, and they're sharp. Love that run.
All right, Sparky's got to go. I think Busted leaving. So got a few people got to check out here. Windroad says she's got to run. So yeah, so I want to ride some of these. Some of these I agree with. Some of them I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me if you really think this makes the top 5. So this road here, 86 and down, is really good. But there's a road right here in this area that they're leaving out, where you cut across from Cassville through Eagle Rock in here, and you come back over, and this white road, but it runs over this way to Cassville, and I think it's better than 86. It's one of my favorites,
Well,
the road out of Cassville.
so I would take it even a step further. Really, everything from Branson west to Cassville, there's 3 or 4 good roads there, and they're all good. 86 being one.
Yeah, it's good, but I mean, you got to give somebody the top. So I mean, if you got to pick one in that,
86 is going to be mine.
But that whole area is good. But
yeah, it is. You can't pick a bad road. Hey, and then too, you were talking,
and then
what? And I've done it. Is it 160 that comes out of Branson?
Yeah, it's on here. Hang on.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're getting ahead of me.
God damn it! Sorry.
We're gonna get to it, I think. So it's not on their map; it's on my map. So here's Highway 19.
Talked about it once,
and they talk about Highway 19. And Highway 19 is something me and Witchcraft Cycle Works have both rode together separately all the time. It's in my back door, let's just say. So I've rode this. This is also the road that Firecracker wrecked her motorcycle on. A lot of people have had accidents on it. It is, I've seen magazines that say this section is the curviest section of highway in Missouri. I think it's particularly better south of 44. Coming out of Cuba, Cuba, Stillville is not that big a deal, but from Stillville on, this section right here where it makes a hard turn, from there on down, that is by far my favorite part of it.
Okay, I can see why. I mean, I can see
here is Highway 94 that runs into Defiance and the backside of St. Louis. That's the wine country road. There's a set of double 90s on this road, which is where my 94 Dyna Lowrider got wrecked by a friend of mine.
Oops.
So that's definitely a top road. Those two are close to me, and I ride them at least every other year, if not every year. So I know those roads well, and I think they deserve to be in the top 5.
So
now, I have not rode all of this road here, but I rode it from 160 down. Yes.
So when you leave St. Louis and you're heading south,
so this takes you down to Peels Ferry.
Okay. That's the Mark Twain National Forest, and that all on Google Earth. That all looks fun. I don't know how much of that you've ridden. I mean, it goes all the way down to the state line.
A bunch of this is through the Mark Twain National Forest. Yeah, I've rode Highway 19 all the way to the bottom, and until it ends and comes into 63 at there. I've got a video on it actually, but so Highway 19 in that Mark Twain National Forest there runs through what they call the scenic riverways, and you're running alongside of the Jacks Fork River and the Current River and other rivers. There's a bunch of mills, and it's just really good riding. There's some state parks in there, campgrounds. So 19 is one of our favorite rides. I'm sure Bill and Ray will agree.
See, I did 19.
Jay says, "What's that road you want me to ride when we left the camp out last year?" That's 19.
I did 19.
So my camp out last year was right off of Highway 19.
Okay. I went north of Cuba. I went 19 north of Cuba. So I did the worst of the two, right? Had I gone south from Cuba, that's where it looks like it gets more.
Yeah, you want to go south from Cuba. You were cutting in and out there. I don't know if that was you or me or what, but yeah, south of Cuba is what I would say is by far the best part.
Okay. Now, would you say that's your number one road in Missouri?
So I would say right now, my number one roads are from Stillville south, which is south, just like 10 miles south to Cuba there in 44. Starting there from Stillville south on 19 to the bottom of it is in my top 5. This Highway 94 is in my top 5. Now, this one down here, this 125, I have not got to ride all of it. I have rode it from 160 down. And this is where you cross Peels Ferry at Bull Shoals Lake here, and then on down. So I've rode the lower half of this. I haven't rode the upper half going back up to Ozark.
Yeah, I've ridden that as well. And that's killer.
Right. So those 3 are my, in my top 5 for sure. And I like the road from Cassville going east-west over to Eagle Rock and on across. That's in my top 5. I got to figure out who's going to get what place in there and who's going to be number 5.
Mm-hmm. There's I think it's Highway
87
59.
Riser says the curve before Defiance is nuts. If he's talking about the double 90s, that's called Klondike Hill, and there's people that wreck there every year.
When I head back to Kansas or to Kansas City from Arkansas, sometimes we'll cut over to Noel and run through Lanigan, go to the Cave Bar, there through Anderson, Highway 59. Those are some fun, nice runs through there too. It's real scenic. You follow the river. It's where they do a lot of raft trips.
Well, I want to put my top 5 together and put them in a video, and then challenge people to, record a road that they think is better in the in Missouri side of the Ozarks, and I'll try and go ride it and see how I feel about it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right in the hub of the really good riding. I mean, you've got good riding 360. You're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I do. For at least an hour in any direction, it's hard to find a bad road. They're not quite as much elevation change as Eureka Springs and the Boston Mountains, but I mean, we still got plenty of, elevation change, plenty of curves, plenty of scenery. So.
Now, I know the loop's not a challenging run, but would that be in your top 5 just because it's pretty cool? You got all those bars and stuff to, the lake, around you and stuff. Would that make it top 5?
No, my top 5 is based on roads. And that's what I'm looking at. Rides, not destinations, rides. Yeah. Top 5 rides.
I'm with you.
I want to do a video on that. Somebody's got one that they think should be in the top 5. Feel free to shoot me an email or something else. Scott said I've hit triple digits on my Road King from Climax Springs to Warsaw, 2-lane blacktop. Yep. Bill said, good night, everyone. 2 a.m. comes too early. Whew. Bill and Ray. She's got work, so she got to get up soon. All right. Good night, guys. We'll see you guys later. Jay says 137 Licking to Willow Springs was gorgeous. Not hard or technical, but a lovely trip. Yeah. Also, and that's where it gets hard. I'm going to have to probably come up with a set of criteria. There's a section of road from Licking to Uranus that is 25 miles of beautiful Mark Twain Forest Road. You barely see a car or a house. It's nice pavement. It's not real technical, but it's beautiful, and it's low traffic. So it's I'm going to have to come up with some criteria on how I'm going to judge these, go out and ride them and score them, and then try and come up with the top 5. I think that'd be a cool thing to do this summer.
One other thing,
maybe do a video on each one, and then do a compiled video of my top 5 and why I rate them the way I rate them.
I was watching the 2 guys from 2-Lane Life, and they did Old 66. And when they got done riding that run, they kind of had a overview of it. They both agreed that Missouri was their favorite state, and it surprised the hell out of both of them how good the roads were. So I thought that was pretty badass.
Well, the original Route 66 by Devil's Elbow it'll jar you if you're riding anything that's not got great suspension. I mean, it's pretty rough. They it was buckling the seams and they've shaved them down so the buckles aren't as bad and stuff, but it's still got, not what I would call quality pavement.
Yeah. I think what they were saying was they didn't realize how pretty Missouri was and how hilly and how many trees.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think. We may not have the absolute, top 5 rides, but we have, 100 good roads. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't need a top. You don't have to have 5, rides, and you have to ride somewhere to get on a decent road. We have good roads all over the place. And when we talk
Yep.
top 5, we're talking, it's hard to pick because there's so many good roads. And I'm sure there's roads out there I haven't rode. I never rode the Cassville to Eagle Rock and across there and stuff until I started going to the switchback and we did a planned ride through there. I might not have ever rode that road because it never really goes to any destination that I would have a reason to be on it otherwise.
Right.
Jamie Roberts, my buddy, says that road to Devil's Elbow convinced me to upgrade my rear suspension to Legend Revo A's.
Highway 86, when you leave Branson.
All right. So, Steve, 2024.
Yeah.
Highway 86 is
that's a fun
it's good.
ride.
We went down it here not too long ago in the truck, but it was it's just
go over the lake.
And there are little sections of it that are better than others.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if my I saw it here. Where are you planning to go to next year? So we were kind of covering that, but I'll recap real quick. We're going to do Cycle Showcase, the bike show in St. Louis in February. Then we're going to do Daytona in March. In April, we have Spring Fling in Eureka Springs. In May, we'll have the International Female Ride Day from Eureka Springs to the Steel Horse Rally in Fort Smith. And then late May, we have a Memorial Day holiday weekend rally we do called the Mid-America Freedom Rally. I'll be working that. I think we're going to try and do K River if I can squeeze the vacation out. It's going to be a tough year to figure everything out, but I'm going to try and if I can get a couple days built up, take off and do that week. And then we are not going to do Sturgis this year. We might do a day trip to the Milwaukee 121st. We have a couple of local events. We'll be in Eureka Springs September 1st and 2nd for the Dice Run. We'll go to Shovel Fest here in Missouri. We'll go to Bikes Fest here in Missouri. Then we'll go to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, Bike Fest Eureka Springs in late September. And that's kind of all we know for sure. We might get to ride the Ozarks Rally in Harrisonville in mid-October, but that just depends on if we run out of vacation time or not. So how many of those are you going to go to with me, Steve?
Well, there's definitely, the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, Spring Fling.
You'll be at Bike Fest.
I would say the one that I'm really looking forward to this year is this will be the second time I've gone to Arizona Bike Week. That'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to that. But and then, of course, I hope to go to Freedom Rally. One thing that's really badass about riding motorcycles is I've gotten to know a group of guys from Omaha, and they're like, guys, you need to come up and ride a weekend up here in Omaha. They have a Thursday nights every so often where it's called 100 Block, and it's kind of their bar district, and they close it all down. It just turns into a big biker fun for all deal. And then then they go over to Iowa and they follow the river valley, and they're saying, hey, look, the riding's not amazing, but it'll surprise you. It's kind of like Missouri. It'll surprise you. So we're looking forward to doing that this year.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of recapped 2023 and 2024 events.
Yeah.
You know, if you're wondering what's going on with the touring line and what I think is going to be happening, just keep watching the videos on the channel. I've been putting updates out there every week or two about that stuff. I've got an idea what I think Harley should do for an icon bike, and I think it makes sense. I have nothing to substantiate this other than an idea in my head and some facts that I know that make sense to me. So I'm hoping, I'm going to try and get a video out on that before their launch, and we'll see what people think and if they agree with me on what bike Harley should do for an icon bike and why. Because I think I've got a cool theory on what they should do.
Does it start with an H?
No.
Okay. I thought maybe it was going to be the hooligan bike.
No, not for an icon bike, because the icon bike's like always based on a historical bike, a retro.
True.
It's a modern take on a retro on an older bike.
That's true.
So,
but you've got me sold on that hooligan bike.
Yeah, they need to make that.
Do it.
Make a hooligan bike out of the Pan America.
Yeah,
just call Saddleman and say, hey, I need to make some measurements.
God, I love that concept. And now, any teases you could give us on what you think your icon bike should be?
Well, it's based on an anniversary date. So if you can figure what would have a substantial anniversary in 2024, then you might be able to figure it out.
Okay, so it's okay. I'll have to do some research.
Yeah, you have to do some research. I shouldn't be the only one that has to do the research.
That's true. That's why we come to you, Mike.
The Ozark Rides Rally is the spring run at Lake of the Ozarks, where they usually have a demo bike and bands and vendors and stuff, and that we'll try and make that. Jay says they're doing Spring Fling, Mid America, and BBB is probably all they'll make this year. Okay. FTR versus Hooligan would be dope. Yeah.
Yes, it would.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've been going at it for almost an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out with us. Tonight was we haven't done one in a few weeks with the holidays. I skipped a few Tuesdays. I'm glad everybody come and hung out with us, maybe had a drink or whatever. I hope everybody gets online that's close and, makes reservations to go to Cycle Showcase. We're going to try and get Randall on here in the next month to talk about that. And I got another person. I'm going to see if I can get them in here in January or February to talk. They're in the motorcycle industry and they're right here based in Missouri. And I think they'd be a cool guest to have. So hopefully I'll have some exciting stuff coming up in the next month or two here on the channel for the lives, kind of keeping the lives just, so people know what to expect a little more, just like about what we're doing, what we've been doing, what our experience has been. I don't want it to just be a recap of the YouTube videos. You can go watch those and know what I think about these bikes and what's coming out and things like that. I want this to be more of a, community thing, talking about the things we're doing, sharing with you guys where we're going to go. Maybe you guys sharing with us what things we should be looking at doing. I've had some people ask already about where we'll be at Daytona. They'd like to meet us and stuff. And I don't know that area. I don't know any vendors there to be planning a meet and greet, but maybe somebody else will do a meet and greet like Monkey or something, and I can, just hang out there and then people can catch us both or something. I don't know. I haven't reached out to him. I haven't reached out to the Badgers. They might be doing something that's in their backyard too. So I'll try and figure something out where maybe I can have some kind of planned event where you could find me and hang out and say hi. All right. Well, Steve, you got anything else you want to tell them?
Just love you guys.
No, I thought for a minute you were going to come out of the closet.
I was going to get all sentimental and I love you fuckers.
We love you too, Steve. You just love us because you got 6 more subscribers tonight.
God damn it. I'm so excited.
28. Just in case anybody in the chat is not subscribed, because there's 23 people left. Surely 2 people have not subscribed to Bagger Bader yet. There's 9mm James. Maybe, if we can find 2 poor souls that haven't subscribed to Bagger Bader. Go give him a little love. Help him hit 30. It'll make his day.
Yeah, just having fun with it, guys. It's never going to be anything serious. I do plan to maybe try to make it a little bit funnier. I'm going to maybe do some funny shit. Try to be funny anyway. But that's about all it'll ever be.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with just showing us little things about where you go and what you do.
Yeah, I've talked to some of the. I'm very blessed. I have a bunch of people I've met in Kansas City and surrounding areas that ride, and I've talked to them about maybe letting me kind of videotape them, and like when we go into the biker bars and the shit we start talking, especially to the bartenders, it gets a little crazy. I might start doing some of that, and it's just going to be. I'm hoping that it'll just be a lot of fun. That's all I'm hoping for.
You got your 2 poor souls to come on over there and subscribe. You just hit 30. Congratulations.
See? That's 30 of the smartest son of a bitches alive right there. That's what that is.
And you love every single one of them.
God.
And you're going to buy them dinner.
My mom. I love my mom. So can you for $15.
All right. All right, guys. Good night to everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time listening to me and Steve shoot the shit and talk about the things you guys are putting in the chat. Happy New Year to everybody. Be safe. Have a good time, but be safe. We want to see everybody back here next month. All right. Love you guys.
Peace.
Stay safe and keep on riding.